Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and today I want to give an updated review on my Champion log splitter. I did a review on this the week I bought it, which isn't all that helpful because most things work well the first day. But now I've had it a couple years, put a lot of use on it, and I just want to show you a cold start. It hasn't been started in quite a while, and use it a little bit, and then talk about my entire experience, any positives and negatives to owning this exact log splitter. Before coming out here this morning, I watched all the other review videos I could find about this splitter so I didn't miss any details. About the main issue that I see anybody having is with the fuel, and having to take the fuel bowl apart and clean it out and maybe spray some starter fluid in there if it gets rain into the carburetor. But that's the only thing I've seen, and so far I have not had that problem because I keep this Champion cover on the splitter all the time. Now, because I said that, we'll probably have trouble getting it to start today, but let's take the cover off and give it a crank. Fuel gauge looks like it's over half full. Oh yeah, it definitely is. I can see we still have plenty of hydraulic fluid. It's got gas in it. It's old gas, but we'll just try it, see if it'll start on this gas. I've done very little maintenance on this, and aside from using it quite a bit myself, I've loaned this out to friends. I've rented it out to some other people that I know, and so it's got a good amount of use on it. So we have a fuel on switch here and a choke, then an on-off switch. So as I mentioned earlier, this is a Champion 27-ton log splitter. But one thing you might not notice right away if you're shopping for one of these is that Champion makes 3 different 27-ton log splitters. This specific splitter that I'm using has the 224cc engine, but you can also get it in a 196cc. There's also 2 different possible cycle times you can get it with. This is an 11-second cycle time, and the other model is a 16-second cycle time. So just something to be aware of when you're shopping. Now in terms of price, when I got this unit, it was about $1,100, and now it's running for about $1,350. So there's a $250 price increase in the last 2 years, but I'm sure you've noticed inflation's going crazy on everything right now. If there's one thing I would like to see changed on this splitter, it's a bigger shelf on the side opposite that I'm standing on, so that when you split a large round, you have room to set the other pieces on that shelf and still split your wood. It's possible with this, but it's kind of awkward because you don't have quite enough room. The other complaints I've seen, as I mentioned earlier, are about the fuel bowl getting water in it, and again, I haven't had that problem, but I understand other people have. Then Boss of the Swamp raised a concern about some plastic components and the placement of the oil filter being in a position where it could get damaged. I haven't had any failures with either of those areas. I can see where you might be concerned about a failure, but it just hasn't happened to me. This is a really large chunk of wood right here. And we're going to get some even bigger stuff in a minute as we stand it up on end. I intentionally split that across the grain instead of with it, right on a knot, just to show there's a lot of power behind the unit. This whole area is a branch coming out of it. This is about as tough a piece of wood as you're going to try to split. So I'd say this thing is built heavy enough to handle big jobs like this, but it's not heavy to move. So if you don't have a tractor to move it around with, it's still manageable by yourself. Same thing with standing it up to split vertically. All you do is pull a pin right down here, lift this up, and it stays balanced. Now the question is, after using it a lot and having it quite a long time, would I buy this again? Yes, I think this is exactly the right size splitter for what I do right now. I split a little bit of firewood for me to have here. I sell a little bit. Mainly, if I don't have anything else going on, I do firewood. I don't prioritize going out to do firewood. Now, if your business plan was, I'm gonna sell firewood for a living, you might want something a little bigger and get a conveyor and all that. But that's usually something you build up to over time. But I think this is a fantastic first splitter for the cost and how well it operates and reliability. But I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'll put links over here to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.